Hey y'all, welcome to a corner of grace. And this is a space where you can get support, where you can have community, where you can relate to other women about things that are going on in your life and how you can apply scripture, how you can grow your personal relationship with God, and just to have social support. We weren't created to be alone. And so, for this first week, we're going to be talking about support and community. And we're going to go to 3rd John 1 and 3, and then Luke, the first chapter, 1st through the 56th verse. And I want to highlight how God created women to be in community with one another. Not just that, but to be an asset to mankind. Okay, so the first scripture, 3rd John 1 and 3, is saying, hey, my friend, I hope that you're doing well spiritually and mentally, just like you're doing well physically. And that speaks volumes to me, because John was writing a letter to his friend, and his friend opened his home up to traveling preachers, people that he didn't know, and he showed kindness to them. They were traveling preachers would come through and they would stop at his friend's house, and he would show them great hospitality. And the letter was just saying, be encouraged. Like, people are saying that you provided such great hospitality and you really showed the love of Christ. Okay, that's the one thing about support. Your friend John was supporting his friend Gaius, Gaius. I don't know the pronunciation. And he was encouraging him. And we need to do the same thing with our friends. If they're on our mind, if we're thinking about them heavily, if something's going on, where you just can't get them off of your brain, reach out. There's a reason for that. But in Luke, the first chapter, it speaks on Zachariah and Elizabeth. They were older in age. They were a power couple. They loved the Lord. They believed in him. They served him. But one thing they wanted most, especially Zachariah, was a child, a son. And they're in their old age. I don't know how old they were, but old enough where people didn't think that they could have children anymore. And neither did they think they could have children anymore. And so, an angel came to Zachariah and pretty much told him, hey, you're gonna have a son and you're gonna name him John. And he questioned that because he had been asking and wanting for a son for so long, and he still hadn't had one. So the angel said, all right, you question me because you don't believe, like you question it in doubt. So you're not gonna be able to talk until your son is born. So when he came out of the temple that day, he couldn't speak. He couldn't say a word. And when he got home, I guess he wrote down or shared with his wife, Elizabeth, that they would have a son. And just a little while later, right? 6 months later, 6 months later, Gabriel, the same angel, appeared to Mary, the mother of Jesus, and said, hey, I know you're a virgin, but you'll be bearing a son. And his name is Jesus. And she questioned him just like Zachariah questioned him, but guess what? Her questioning was a little different. She's like, how? Like, I'm a virgin, how? She questioned out of curiosity. Zachariah questioned out of doubt. There was a consequence in that, and so his mouth was shut. He couldn't speak. Mary believed. She said, okay, what you said, let it be done. And so shortly after that, she went to visit Elizabeth. She stayed with her for 3 months, right up until John was born. Mary and Elizabeth were cousins, basically. And the point that I'm getting at as far as support and community is, back in that day, you were shunned upon if you were not able to bear a child. Like, that was the ultimate honor, that you could bear a child, and they couldn't do that. So for the first 3 months, I think it was. It may have been 6, but Elizabeth stayed in her house. She's old age, right? She stayed in her house. She did not come out. Now, what kind of load was she carrying, right? All these years she couldn't bear a child. Now all of a sudden she's able to bear a child. She's old, but people talk about her as well. And what kind of help do you think she needed? What type of encouragement do you think she needed? Nobody was talking to her because she was looked at like, oh, you're nothing. But then here comes Mary, she's a teenager. She comes and she supports her. She loves on her. She helps her during her pregnancy. And mind you, Mary, her 6 months later, so that means Mary was probably about a month or 2 pregnant. And she was able to help Elizabeth. The point is, you guys, we should rally with each other as women. We should support one another. We should encourage. We should share the things that we know, the things that we don't know. We should pray together. We should commune together, because at the end of the day, we were not meant to be alone. All right, y'all. Until next time.